Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Wednesday, December 6th. Today I'll be reading again from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 8 this time, verses 5 through 11. When he entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, appealing to him and saying, "Lord, my servant is lying at home paralyzed in terrible distress." And he said to him, "I will come and cure him." The centurion answered, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but only speak the word, and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. And I say to one, 'Go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes, and to my slave, 'Do this,' and the slave does it." When Jesus heard him, he was amazed, and said to those who followed him, "Truly I tell you, in no one in Israel have I found such faith. I tell you, many will come from east and west, and will eat with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, while the heirs of the kingdom will be thrown into the outer darkness, where they are weeping and gnashing of teeth." And to the centurion Jesus said, "Go, let it be done for you according to your faith." And the servant was healed in that hour. I'm going to read a reflection on this verse from a book called Preparing for Christmas, Daily Meditations for Advent, written by Richard Rohr. The American Declaration of Independence says we have an unalienable right to the pursuit of happiness. God created us to be happy and joyful in this world and the next. And Jesus says the same several times in John 14 through 17. The only difference between the two is that any happiness that is demanded from life never becomes happiness because it is too narcissistically and self-consciously pursued. The joy that the world cannot give has always come as a gift to those who wait for it, expect it, and make room for it inside themselves. The first is self-assertion, the second is self-surrender. The first is taking, and the second is receiving. Those are two entirely different human dynamics. You do not catch a butterfly by chasing it. You sit still, and it alights on your shoulder. Then it chooses you. This is true happiness. When we set out to seek our private happiness, we often create an idol that is sure to topple. Any attempts to protect any full and private happiness in the midst of so much public suffering has to be based on illusion about the nature of the world we live in. We can only do that if we block ourselves from a certain degree of reality and refuse solidarity with the other side of everything, even the other side of ourselves. Both sides of life are good and necessary teachers. In fact, failure and mistake teach us more than our successes. Failure and success were often called the two hands of God, or the Paschal mystery. It takes struggles with both our darkness and our light to form us into the full children of God. But of course, we especially resist the left hand of God, which is usually some form of suffering, or a loss of control. As in our gospel today, it is the same as suffering of the centurion servant that brought the centurion out of his comfortable house and that invited Jesus into that house. Suffering in solidarity with the suffering of others has an immense capacity to make room inside of us. It is probably our primary spiritual teacher. A question to reflect on: what attachments in your life can you let go of to make room for God? May you have a blessed day.